Hey everyone, welcome back to AWM Capital's mini-series on the 4 uses of money. I'm Josh McAlister. As a reminder, the 4 uses of money are taxes, giving, savings, and lifestyle. And today, we're going to talk about my favorite use of money, and that is giving. There's 2 objectives to this little mini-series. One is to connect the why we give, and then give you some tools and strategies as to make giving easier through means and purposes that are allowing you to actually take more dollars when you actually give. So let's talk about the why real quick. I would venture to say that a lot of us don't give just simply because we don't take the time to actually plan where our dollars are going. I read an article one time from the USA Today that stated that anybody that makes over $200,000 on average, they give anywhere from 2 to 2.5% of their gross income. It's around like $5,500. And when you're making that much money, that's actually not a lot of monies that are going out to charitable organizations. So I challenge you to first determine why you're giving, understand that, and then the giving will actually get really easy. So let's talk about some tips and strategies. These are meant to actually allow giving to happen more frequently and at a greater rate. The IRS has allowed you to take certain tax deductions to make giving more accessible and happen more often. And so the 3 things we're going to talk about is a donor advised fund, appreciated stock giving, and bunch giving or bunch tithing. So we'll start first with the donor advised fund. It's also commonly referred to as a DAF. And what it is a fund or an account that's set up that is set aside for your own giving. You can contribute cash or investments into this fund that you then can determine the timing and where at your discretion whenever you want. You can determine where those funds are going to go as long as it's a 501c3 charitable organization. They're great from a flexibility standpoint. They allow you to do your own due diligence on the charity, on where your dollars are going. And it also allows you to determine, hey, like I actually want to give, but I don't really know where my dollars should go. This just gives you more time to be able to determine those facts. Now, the benefit of a donor advised fund from a tax standpoint, as soon as you give to the donor advised fund, you get the tax deduction. So let's say you want to give $100,000, but you don't know where that money is going. You give $100,000 to the donor advised fund. In your tax return for this year, you get to claim a deduction of $100,000. And then that $100,000 can stay invested and grow, and it can be dispersed over time at your discretion. Next is appreciated stock giving. Let's say you bought Apple at $100 and it grew to $200. You have a $100 gain. And that $100 gain, if you went to sell, you would pay something called capital gains tax, which limits the amount of dollars that go back into your pocket that you can then ultimately give. Let's just say you've earmarked this position to be given. So what the IRS has allowed you to do to benefit both charities and yourself is to give that stock directly to a charity or to a donor advised fund, and you can avoid the capital gains tax. So that $200 then goes straight to the organization. They can then create the cash. Since they're a charitable organization, they don't pay taxes on it either. It's a win-win for everybody. Lastly, bunch giving or bunch tithing. Say you got $100,000 that you want to give, and rather than spreading it out by $33,000 one year, $33,000 one year, and $33,000 one year, you can actually give in the first year. And it would make more sense to give everything in the first year so that you can claim the largest tax deduction available to you. And then in the next year, you claim something called the standard deduction, married filing joint. That amount is $25,100 for 2021. Single is half of that. And so you get that no matter what. That's the standard deduction. Everybody's available to that. Well, if you give $100,000 this year, and you claim standard deduction in year 2 and standard deduction in year 1, it's about $150,000 of deductions on your tax return. Well, let's say you gave $33,000 every single year spread over 3 years. It's $33,000 in the first year, $33 here, $33 there. it's only $100,000 that you get to ultimately claim, because you can only claim the higher of the standard deduction or the itemized deduction. More dollars in your pocket in that first year to be able to have for your discretion to give or to use on yourself. Hope you found this valuable. Hope that you can actually determine what your giving number is going to be by going through the 4 uses of money framework so that you can achieve your giving goals for 2021.